All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? Got a fresh week, a fresh, brand new week. Ready to get to it. Hopefully the market can pick up a little bit this week. Either direction, I'll take it in either direction. Instead of watching the paint dry like we did last week. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Yeah, I had a busy weekend as usual. Didn't get everything done I wanted to, but I did make progress, so that's a positive. Where is it? Okay. All right. So the quote of the day: the struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. All right. So that one I really like this quote here. That one resonates with me a lot. A lot of times, you get the question, if you could go back and change anything, what would you change, or what would you tell your younger self? And me, I wouldn't go back and change anything, because all of the especially with trading, all of the struggles and the hard times that I had to go through, or trying to figure stuff out, all of the losses and everything added up to where I am today. That's with trading. That's with life in general. So I wouldn't. So the struggles are just opportunities to grow, opportunities to get better. And it's going to help you for your future endeavors, no matter what it is. All right. So that is the quote of the day. Extremely relatable. Let's go ahead and get to this pre-market insight. Forgot to do one thing. All right, on the calendar this week, today we don't have anything scheduled. Tomorrow we got the EIA short-term energy outlook at 7. Wednesday we got the JOLTS job openings and the crude oil inventory. Thursday, core CPI, initial jobless claims. And Friday we have the PPI. So pretty much a typical week. Nothing super exciting sticks out as of right now. Let's go ahead and look at that power range. Get the report. All right, so for NQ today we had a high of 12,569 with a low of 12,522 for the power range. We were at the time of this posting, we were trading neutral, down negative 0.04% with a volume of 54, which is more is significantly higher than last week, but it's still kind of low, especially for a weekend. An ATR of 207.27. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the chart. Let me expand this. You can see on the daily, we're kind of just slowly, not really doing anything. We had these consecutive, pretty much dojis back to back. So at any time, we could pop out of here with some momentum. I think more than likely it will happen to the short side, and we'll have some kind of sell-off, more so like this, or one of these, some kind of huge intraday sell-off, or it could be overnight. So we'll see what happens, and just make sure that we sticking to our plan and are prepared for anything. Yeah, these V-shaped patterns have been kind of popular lately within the technical side of the markets. So it should be interesting to see how all of this plays out, especially this week. Hopefully we get some kind of momentum, some directional momentum. get some of that volatility that we've been spoiled with this week, this year. Go ahead and got a few minutes to the bell. Finish up my pre-market task. As of right now, kind of hate to say it, but if I had to pick a side, I would pick the bearish side. You see the stronger moves. As usual, though. Usually, the move short is usually the strongest moves, and we slowly, the climb higher when we do go bullish. But just looking at the candlesticks on the 15-minute chart, which is what I'm looking at right now, I see most of the volume is bearish. Now's a good time to get my pre-market snapshot. This is the wrong version of the song. Let's see. go. Here we go. Need the market to go ahead and give me some good movement this week so I can go ahead. I'm almost at my goal. Like I'm just right there at the well, not right there, but close enough to where I just need a nice sizable move for this week to go ahead and reach that Leeloo finish line, or actually the starting point technically, but y'all know what I'm saying. Reach that Leeloo goal of $3,000. Got a little battle out the gate. We could have a pop higher if we break 540. I'm gonna have to wait for my window to open. Got less than a minute. I wanted to take that, but have to stay disciplined to my plan. Depends on how it closes. I will more than likely take it long. I may try to snipe it on a quick micro pullback. We'll see how this closes. I'm gonna let it close. I'm not gonna speculate because the bears are fighting back hard. My bias is still bearish. Right now, it looks like we're entering this battle zone that I'm not a fan of. If it's closed like I think it is, I'm just gonna, be patient. I want to reach this goal, but I don't want to try to force it either. a nice little bullish pop right there, but it didn't give me the kind of signal that I would have wanted to take. That would have given me enough reasons to take the trade. So I had to reassess and look for my signal. I have this pullback right here within this, just big green candle. I'm looking at this 553 level to hold all the way down to 552. Just gonna call it 552 flat. That's the area that I'm looking at. I'm not taking anything, I'm just looking at it. Of course, as we battle in this range, I'm watching the volume pile in at these different prices. Go ahead and put an order in here. I think we got enough support to, if we do pull back. Mark off my levels of interest. And what's really unfortunate is it did what I asked it to do. It just didn't do it the way that I wanted it to do it. I wanted to move like this, but not in this way. It didn't give me a clean way to get in, so I didn't take it. It just happened. Just in the craziest way possible. Looking for the right word, then words can't explain the idea that I'm trying to express right now. So when we're in that first 3 minutes, because of my 3 minute no trade rule, or the opening bar, it's really an opening bar trade rule. It doesn't matter the time. It just depends on what chart I'm looking at. So I wanted to take it long, right? Just looking at the price structure, I wanted to take it long above 540, but I couldn't take it once. Because once the price actually broke that level, because we were still within my no trade time, right? So then that first candle that we got, to me, that didn't show any real direction. So I just waited for something, a better signal or whatever. But it didn't give me the kind of signal that I would typically look for to enter into a trade. And just historically speaking, that is, if I tried to trade something that I wasn't familiar with, that's worked against me mostly than it has with me or for me. So it's just breaking down the whole thought process and the reason why I did or didn't do or act on whatever I'm seeing or whatever I see. This price action is insane because it makes it hard to argue against people who talk about market manipulation. You would think, looking at this, the weakness in the price action and how these candles are setting up, you would think at some point we would pull back, have some sort of a pullback, but it continues to climb higher. But like, we get these spikes higher, and then it'll chop around for a minute, then it'll spike higher, and then chop around for a minute. And it's consistently doing that, that's what makes it so, interesting, that it does this day after day. Where from my personal experience, I would see that like every once in a while within a year. So this kind of price action is not something that I normally have not seen before. I've seen it before, just not so frequently as we've seen it this month. The mixture of the volatility and the indirectional but directional volatility, meaning we got some momentum and it's pretty strong, but it's just not clean. It's choppy, with the exception of Thursday and Friday of last week. Last week we didn't see much of anything. So I'm looking at it now to get in on a pullback, but at the same time I'm kind of hesitant to do that because it could be setting up like, I've seen lately, to where we have this pretty much, it's like the bears are loading up into their position, and then the market starts to sell off hard down into the low of the day's session. So I'm not crazy about being too aggressive on this first entry. If I take it long. But then again, like the trend right now is bullish, so I don't want to trade against that. I'm not a fan of fading the markets. I like to go with the trend. So it looks like right now we're testing the high of the day, or the high of the session. So we broke, this was right here at the top of the power range. That was the high of the session up until we broke it right here. And then right now we're testing that area. Which is all-time high territory. Right now I'm looking at 559. Looks like it's trying to set up for a takeout of this red candle, but it's so parabolic, I'm not really interested in it. Just got an alert on gold. Gold is rising. I got an options play on gold that I'm playing. Ticker symbol GLD. The gold ETF. I think I picked the 174 strike. So I'm seeing this as a bearish signal if we break the low of this, but it doesn't necessarily have to that we have to sell back significantly. If it does, I'll take it light at 559. Almost considering pulling, well, no, I'm gonna keep it there. Still not interested in any breakouts as of right now. Even though it looks like we could get one. We're battling in this all-time high range up here, or the previous high. The only reason is because the market has been showing a lot of traps lately. So I would like it to, more or less confirm that it's done with all the, showing all the traps before I actually start taking those breakout trades and with this kind of price action or price structure. Continues to climb, I'm just gonna have to get it another day. Over time, I've patiently, built my patience muscle to where I don't have to trade every single day if I don't see what I want to see and I don't get the exact what's going on, Salty B. If I don't get the exact setup that I'm looking for, then I understand the market's going to be open again tomorrow, so I don't have to force a trade today. I could just wait, because eventually I will get a setup that I like, and then I'll take it. Like, see this, the price action that's in where it would, where it's trying to break out, I don't like it. Doesn't mean it can't pop higher, because we saw back here in the first few minutes that it would tease and then pull back a little bit and then, pop higher. But that's not the kind of setup that I like to take. My preferred method, as I say all the time, is get in on the pullback. I like to try to get in where most people are getting stopped out. Or let me say, I like to get in where I would usually get stopped out. Well, appreciate you stopping through, Salty B. Definitely try to share my experience to help, other traders, and it's a, it's a give take situation. Because I actually learned from, you guys as well. Then we all could, learn from each other, because we all have a perspective that's unique to ourselves, and then we can share what that with each other and help each other grow, no matter what level we're at currently. In my personal opinion. Also, it's a great time to put in a disclaimer that, nothing that I talk about, when I'm talking about prices or how I'm trading NQ, this is not advice to, take any trades or, do anything with your particular strategy. I'm only sharing what I see and sharing my opinion on it and what I'm doing. If you happen to pick up something that, that you find valuable in that's awesome, but I am not a financial advisor. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and it's going to continue. NQ is just running on me, but not giving me what I wanted. So there's a good chance that I won't take a trade today. If it starts to sell off hard from here, I'm gonna be very passive with the entry if I take it. You can feel that disclaimer coming, huh? Mix up the tunes a little bit. Trading by BTC. So I don't really, I'm in BTC, but I have more like of a buy and hold type of thing that I'm doing with it. I mean, I've been, there's I don't know if you heard of Seven Bomar's wealthy bot. But I'm supposed, I've been planning on checking that out in terms of trading crypto. What these, that's something that seems kind of pretty interesting. An interesting way to trade crypto. Like it's a journey, so I definitely understand that point. One thing I can is the more that you watch the charts, the more it'll start making sense, and then it'll become like it's anything else. Like when we're born, we're not born with a particular language in terms of how we visually see it or how it's visually represented. But over time, we start picking up the language, whether that's English, Spanish, or whatever our native language is, and we can reading it goes from something that you do slowly to it's the second nature. You can read the words before you fully process it in your mind, because you're anticipating your experience with it, and you anticipate what word that is based off a couple of letters in the structure of the word. So trading is trading, or reading a chart is really the same thing. When you get started, it's kind of a foreign language to you. It's not as easy to be able to recognize the patterns and to see it almost kind of before it happens. But once the more you do it, the more you look at the charts and you read the charts and you study the charts, then you'll start to be able to anticipate what's more than likely, or what can probably happen next. Of course, you're not going to get that 100% accuracy, but you will be able to kind of anticipate what happens, and then you can take advantage of that with your strategy. The only thing, you's got to be consistent at it. That's where I messed up when I started trading. I had a strategy that was working for me, and then I thought I saw something better, and then I changed it, and everything just went down here from there. And it took me like months to be able to recover from that, and when I changed that from an initial strategy, I forgot what it was exactly. So it took me a long time to get back to what I initially saw before. But in that process, I actually got better and learned a lot more. So it was kind of hard, struggling through that, but at the same time, it turned out being a blessing, because it made me such a better trader. Just like this year, we've seen a lot of price action and a lot of volatility, consistent volatility that we are not used to, that we haven't seen before, and all of that, trying to figure that out. I've picked up a lot of gems, or I've improved my strategy, or not my strategy, but I improved the way that I approach the market, or in my trading. Yep, sticking to your rules is tough to do. You'll get it. It's about being consistent and staying true to yourself. So it doesn't look like, on that note, for me sticking to my rules, more than likely I'm not gonna get any trades today. One of those rules being, my trade window, where my close of business is at 10:30 Mondays, and especially today is I usually shut it down a little bit earlier because I have things to do in the afternoon. and actually broke that rule like a couple weeks ago. Worked out for me, but that's not something I want to make a habit of. Actually, it worked out for me in a bad way. So I ended up getting myself, because I broke that rule, I ended up getting myself into a trade that I don't, necessarily like to be in, and I had to, it took a lot of discipline and skill to get myself out of it. As long, coupled with a lot of sweat and nervousness. Unnecessary stress. Had I just followed my rule and came back the next day, I would have saved myself all of that. I just realized I haven't even took a screenshot or anything. But I don't have any takeaways right now. Don't have anything to put in the journal at this point. You did 21 years in the military. That's what's up. I did 10. That was more than enough for me. Hey, congrats on your retirement. I wish I would have jumped on trading as soon as I got out. I was passively investing at that time. I could be aggressive right here at 580, but I'm still not feeling taking an aggressive play. And plus, it's close to my close of business time, so I can't afford to trade over my time today. So I'm just going to have to watch it from this point.
Order canceled.
Yeah. Army as well. So we found some rejection off this fib level. Which should be my first fib level bullish, 61.8%. It looks like it wants to be a kind of a pennant, a flag pattern. But I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I think it could either, you could break that and slowly climb. If it breaks this fib level, then it could continue to it could continue to climb higher. But I also see it being able to, the price pulling back into some support. We have a lot of areas of support in here. The levels I'll be looking at is 580 and 570. Nice even numbers. Okay. I had enough of Georgia because when I was in, I first through the station was Stewart, and then I went to Gordon. Well, Stewart to Hood, and then to Gordon. So I'm good on Georgia. Okay. Atlanta is popping right now. I got a hindsight capital. Alright, so I do have one hindsight capital for the day. A way that I could have taken this, but it would have been required me to be super aggressive. I like to have at least one takeaway from the trading day. One little piece of insight from hindsight capital. do this as a hobby or to make a living? Yeah, I do this. The main goal is to have this as my main source of income that supports the other businesses that I'm working on, or as my as my day-to-day uh, thing that I do for to make a living, and then have other um, sources of income to support my trading. That this is, I did try to go. If you look back into the archive of my YouTube channel, I did try to go full time initially, and the problem that I had the first time I tried to go full time trading was I didn't have another solid source of income. I had another stream of income, but it just wasn't enough to support my cost of living. So my takeaway from that, that first year, and I did it in the Philippines, so it was, the cost of living was low, but at the same time, it's a long story. I don't want to get into the whole story, but my main takeaway was that I needed another source of income to, help me with this trading thing, because just from the psychological aspect of it. I want to be able to use the profits from my trading to fuel the other businesses, not use the profits from the trading to live off of. But as of right now, I have a regular 9-to-5 job. 9 to 5, but I work in the evening, so it works out 4 days a week, so it works out for me to be able to trade in the mornings. So it looks like just looking at the price action, we're kind of slowing down a little bit before we set up for the next move in either direction. It looks like the market does want to sell off, but it doesn't have to, of course. So with all of that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close up the shop for the day. If my retirement pans out for the next few months, I should be able to pay the bills, but I'd like to have a small goal. Word. That's one thing, I would have been nice if I was able to stick it out, to retirement. 'Cause I know that that retirement check would have been a major help to what I'm trying to do. But it is what it is. So anyway, definitely appreciate y'all, coming through, trading with me. Appreciate the convo, Salty B. Good luck to you, with what you're trying to do. And I will see y'all on Wednesday for the next Sound the Bell. Trade it easy.